Welcome back, nail crew. Today I am going to help you guys troubleshoot your polygel issues. If you have had any of these complaints that I'm showing here, stay tuned because we're going to fix them. So the first complaint that people tell me all the time is that their polygel nails won't stay on. They do their nails and then by the morning they have popped completely off. And I know that is so frustrating, guys. So I'm going to show you guys how to prep correctly because 9 out of 10, it's not the polygel. It is you, okay? So let's prep correctly. The first thing you're going to need is something to push back your cuticles. Here are two different options, but this one here is my favorite. So what you want to do, guys, is push back the cuticles. And maybe you don't know exactly what the cuticles are. It's not that skin. It's not the skin. It is actually the dead tissue that comes along the nail. So here, let me show you guys a picture. So you see, you have the eponychium, which is that skin. You can see where the arrow is pointing to. And then you have the cuticle, which is actually on the nail plate. The cuticle is dead tissue. It is extremely sticky, but if you leave it on the nail plate, your nails will lift. So a lot of times I see people are saying I'm pushing back the cuticles, but they're not pushing back the cuticles at all. And you still leave a little bit of that cuticle dead tissue on the nail. Your nails will lift, okay? The next thing you want to do is grab a medium to fine grit arbor band or hand file like this one and remove the surface shine from the nails, okay? So remember I showed you guys this. The larger number is the softer grit side. Now the arbor band that I'm using right now on my hand drill or my e-file is also a 240 grit file. So it is actually the same as the hand file. And I'm using it going in only one direction. And I am just removing the surface shine from the nail. I am not removing any of the nail plate. And this is what the nail should look like when you're done. Now, as you can imagine, you have just created a lot of dust on the nails. If you leave that there, it will cause lifting. So you have to remove it. Spray a little alcohol, get a manicure brush, and just brush all of that extra filing and dust off the nail. All right? Once that is done, you grab your prep and dehydrate. This is just going to dehydrate the nail, and we're going to apply a thin layer to all the nails. Let that dry. It actually dries in just a few seconds, and apply a second layer. Now, once the nail is fully dehydrated, you can go in with your primer. Today I am using this YAYOGE primer, and it is a primer that you have to cure in the UV LED light, okay? So another thing that you can do if you are prone to lifting or your nails are popping off, don't just brush on the primer, especially if it's a primer like this that you have to put in the UV LED light. Scrub on the primer. For many people, scrubbing in that primer allows for better adhesion, okay? Now, a lot of primers will air dry, but this primer, you have to put it in the UV LED light for 60 seconds, okay? Another very, very important step when you're prepping and priming your nails for gels or polygels is the base coat. Now, there are some companies out there that claim you do not need a base coat when using their polygel. That is fine, but for the majority of polygels, you need a base coat, okay? The base coat is what allows the polygel to stick to the nail plate, okay? It works with the primer to keep the nails on for a long time. So get you a very good base coat and you should be fine. Issue number 2 is the underside of my nails are not smooth. I get this one all the time. I even get pictures sent to me on my Instagram. So I'm going to show you guys how to get a smooth under nail, okay? So for this demonstration, I am going to use my YAYOGE polygel because y'all already know this is my favorite polygel, hands down. I am also using YAYOGE slip solution. However, you do not need slip solution, okay? If you don't have it, don't worry about buying it. Just go ahead and use alcohol, okay? And you'll get the same exact results. So we're going to put the polygel into the dual form. And then you are going to apply it to the nail at a 45-degree angle. You are only pressing hard enough to remove the air bubbles. That is it, okay? So if you notice that you have polygel oozing along the sides, that just means you're pressing way, way, way too hard. Then you want to flip the nail over. It should be completely flush. You see the end of the nail plate there? the free edge of the nail, it is actually flushed with the polygel. There is no polygel oozing over the nail plate or the free edge, and there is no polygel on the actual skin, okay? So make sure that it's actually flat. Then you want to flip the finger back over just to make sure that you did not disrupt the polygel or the dual form. Then put it in the lamp for 60 seconds. Once you take your nails out of the lamp, do not pop the dual form off right away because it's still warm. Give the nail and the polygel time to cool down. Once it cools down, boop, it pops right off and the nail looks awesome. Let's flip it over and look on the underside of the nail. It should be just as smooth as the top. Booyah! Super smooth underside of the nail. All right, let's move on to the next issue. My polygel nails won't cure. Usually, if you are having curing issues with your polygel, it could be that the polygel is just too opaque. It is too thick, it is too dense, and the light from your UV LED lamp cannot penetrate through the polygel. So I'm going to show you guys how I fix that issue, okay? So I have my white polygel and I have my clear polygel, and I am going to mix them into this small container. I'm just doing a small amount because I'm only doing one nail, okay? And we're going to mix that up like we're baking a cake. Mix that up like we're baking a cake. We're going to put that right into the dual form just like we did before. Just make sure you just even that out into that dual form. Grab your brush and your alcohol and pat it in place. Now, I have a feeling that someone's going to ask, how much white do you add to the clear? Like, what's the clear to white ratio? Really, honestly, it is personal preference. If you want it to be really, really white, just do a 1-to-1 ratio. If you want to turn it into like that off-white kind of milky color, then just add more clear, and you just do whatever looks and feels right to you, okay? Then we're going to put it on the nail, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. Make sure you don't press too hard. Pay close attention to the underside of the nail. That is just as important as the top. And then we're going to cure the nail for 60 seconds. But what's different this time is you're going to cure it for 60 seconds on the top, and then you're going to flip the nail over and cure it for 60 seconds on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to double cure the opaque nails. Remember, once you take the nails out of the lamp, let it cool down for a few seconds. That allows the dual form to pop right off. And look, the nail is completely cured, top and bottom, no issues, and it still looks white. I went ahead and did some, minor filing just to give you guys an idea what the nails look like. Let me flip them over, and look, the underside looks amazing and nice and smooth. Yay, we're almost done. Okay, so the last issue is my nails keep breaking. Oh my gosh, how frustrating. You do all that work, you get them all nice and pretty, even blinged out, and then boop, they break. So the way that I fix breaking nails is I add a second layer. Now, you can add a second layer with whatever you have. Personally, I like to add second layers with this hard gel, okay? This is also from YAYOGE. It is one of my favorite builder gels because it is so thick. You guys know I love a good thick nail, all right? So what I'm doing now is I'm starting at the apex of the nail. That is where the nail is going to break if it breaks. I start at the apex of the nail. I'm going to zoom in for you guys, and I brush the gel down to the tip. I let that cure for 30 to 60 seconds, and then I go in with another layer of gel. This time I am starting at the cuticle area of the nail, okay, the back of the nail, and I'm bringing that down over the entire nail from the back to the free edge. So by doing it this way, you double reinforce that apex area. The first dollop of gel, I started at the apex and went to the free edge. The second dollop of gel, I started at the back near the cuticle area and brought that over the apex and towards the free edge. And this just leaves the apex of the nail super thick, and that's going to prevent from any breakage, okay? So go ahead and cure that second layer for a full 60 seconds. Remove that sticky inhibition layer, and now we're just going to go in and file. So let's shape and file Miss Becky. She looks really good. Look at the thickness on that nail. I think that is perfect. I like a good thick nail, guys. I just do. I'm so rough. I'm always in the gym. I need a good thick nail that's not going to break on me. And I think this looks amazing. So now that I have the shape that I want, I'm going to take my e-file and just soften and smooth up the top of the nail. So if you notice, I am only going in one direction with my e-file. I am starting on the right and bringing it over to the left. And I'm going to press a little bit harder on the cuticle area and then also on the free edge of the nail, just because I need those areas as flat and smooth and seamless as possible. When I get to the apex area, I am hardly putting any pressure on my e-file. Okay, so let me just repeat that. When you use the e-file, you can put a little bit more pressure on the back of the nail and on the free edge of the nail because you want those areas thinner, flatter, smoother. On the apex, you don't want to remove any of that product, so a very light buff over those areas. Now I'm taking my e-file and I'm just smoothing out the tip, giving it a nice C-curve. Oh my God, that looks beautiful. That looks so beautiful. I love that little curve. Oh my gosh, this nail looks amazing. I love it. I hope that you guys like it as well. Once you're done filing, go in with your buffer and just buff that nail. Make it all nice and smooth. I just love that buffing sound. I just do. I think I have a problem. Now we're going to go in with some more alcohol, spray the nail, and use that same manicure brush and brush away all that dusting filings. The reason you're doing that at this point is so that when you apply your gel polish, it does not have like those little nasty little beads and bumps and lumps and growth. I hate that. So make sure you wash the hand or scrub it with the alcohol and brush. And voila, after 2 coats of this YAYOGE clear polish, this is what we have. The apex of the nail is nice and built. Look at that nice little curve there. It's not over pinched. I think it looks great. The nail has some nice structure and thickness to it. And we're all done, guys. We are all done. So I hope that you guys are not confused any longer when it comes to these issues, and I really hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any more troubleshooting issues that you want me to address, go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I will definitely get a video out for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share. Yeah, do all that. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Yeah, can't forget. Subscribe to. All right, here are 2 more videos, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.